Are the Kings exposing the Warriors?
Yes, to answer the question, they are exposing the Warriors.
The way they run up and down the court, I don't know if them old legs from Golden State can handle that type of pressure.
You still believe the Warriors are going to take the series?
Skip, they're in trouble. Warriors are in trouble.
I think he's the best one in the series.
Wait, what? Who is the best player in this series? We're not about to do this again. It's one thing for people to second guess this Golden State Warriors team, but when are we going to learn to not second guess Steph Curry? Because down 2-0 for the first time in his career, and if you thought he was going to do anything other than dominate and win, you don't really know who Steph Curry is. 36 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists, including shots like this.
DiVincenzo to Curry, long three.
But before we even talk about his scoring, it's plays like this which make Steph Curry, Steph Curry. Steph brings the ball up in transition. Let me just stop it right here. He hezzies Keegan Murray at half court. I need you to understand how ridiculous it is that he can fake out a defender 40 feet from the basket, and it's because of shots like the one I just showed you before. He then draws the defense and kicks it to DiVincenzo before immediately relocating to the corner and drawing both defenders with him. Imagine having 2 defenders rush out to shut you down before the ball has even touched your hands, which allows him to make a perfect dime to Moody, who gets to the line for 2. That doesn't even count as an assist, but Steph was able to completely warp the defense all by himself. And speaking of warping the defense, here's Steph getting a handoff from Wiggs. Loon sets a screen, and watch Steph fake out Sabonis as if he's going to pass to the rolling Loon. He then passes it to Paul instead, and with Sabonis already faked out, he gets the give and go before getting straight to the rim. Or on this play where it's another Loon screen, just say a prayer for Sabonis because Steph hits him with a nasty hesitation before driving straight past him for the layup. Oh, and do you remember when Sabonis said this?
You know he's going to be guarding one of the best players in the league, you know.
Well, here was Steph isolated against Keegan Murray, and well, he goes one way, back the other way, drives past him, and finishes through the contact of the 7-footer before getting up, and I'm pretty sure he said, "He can't guard me." And that would be very true for pretty much anyone on that court. You know what really ruins opposition teams though? It's plays like this. Steph pulls up for a step back 3. He misses, but the GOAT comes in to grab the offensive rebound before kicking it back out to Steph, who pulls up in and around 2 defenders with no hesitation, and all of a sudden a 9-point deficit at halftime is turned to 12 in the most crushing way possible. And Steph is better at making those crushing shots at the end of quarters better than anyone else in the league. But none of that would have happened if it weren't for Kevon Loon Wigelon. Yes, that is his name. With Draymond Green suspended, Loon needed to step up, and he did exactly that, recording 20 rebounds and 9 assists, including 9 offensive rebounds. And you want to know the exact moment I knew Loon was going to have a monster performance? It was when he said this.
As a big man, that's what we do. I think that's pretty normal. Pushing, the shoving, the grabbing, that's all part of protocol down there. Like I said, I enjoy it, and hopefully I get the benefit of the doubt next time.
Whilst everyone was focused on Dre and Sabonis and the Warriors dynasty being quote-unquote over, Loon didn't care about all of that. All he cared about was going out and helping the team win, and man, did he do that. I mean, who else? Who else is fighting for offensive boards like this? Klay has Sabonis on the perimeter, but the Kings have 2 defenders trying to box out Looney. Keep in mind, Harrison Barnes is about the same height as him and much more athletic. None of that matters though, as he holds off both defenders, grabbing the board with one hand before commando rolling like he's in the army through the legs of Herder, passing it to Steph, who makes it look Steph-less. And similar to Steph, Loon also makes so many winning plays that don't even count towards the stats sheet. Like on this play where Klay chucks up a 3, Loon wraps around Barnes to tip the ball up in the air before tipping it off Sabonis for an extra possession. And do you want to take a guess at what happened on the same possession after the Warriors extended it once more? Loon and Klay run a pick and roll. Loon collapses the defense before making a pinpoint pass to Dante for a 3, which pretty much sealed the game for the Warriors, and also speaks to the most underrated part of his game that never gets enough attention. He's a fantastic passer and critical to the Warriors offense when he's making plays like that. Don't forget, he was once the next Kevon Durant, and it helps for plays like this. He runs a DHO with JP. He slips to the middle of the floor before taking one dribble, and just his ability to look off De'Aaron Fox creates a wide open three-pointer for Wiggs. Those were just a couple of his 9 assists in which he showed off his composure and elite decision-making to set up the Dubs for wide open threes or layups, benefiting from the gravity of the likes of Steph, Clay, and JP. And it would be rude to talk about Steph and Looney being reliable as ever without mentioning the ever-consistent Andrew Wiggins. This man was out for months dealing with some incredibly difficult personal circumstances, only to come back in the playoffs and not skip a beat. 17 points, 22 points, 20 points. And if there is one play that sums up everything that Wiggs brings to the Warriors team, it has to be this one. Here we have Trey Lyles getting the ball in the corner with 5 seconds left on the clock. He tries to back down Wiggs before hitting a nice spin move. There's just one slight issue. Wiggs recovers well and blocks that shot, but this is where it gets good. Steph brings the ball up the floor. He draws a couple of defenders before kicking it to DiVincenzo, and with the defense scrambled, Wiggs steps into an open three and knocks it down. That's the definition of a 3-and-D player right there, and Andrew Wiggins' ability to stay in front of guys like De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, but then switch onto wings and forwards before sending their shots packing, all the whilst providing a consistent 20 points per game, is what made the Dubs a championship team last year, and is what they need again this year. With this being said, it wasn't just the veterans that kept the Warriors season alive either. What if I told you Moses Moody saved his best game of the season for none other than a do-or-die game in the playoffs? During the first quarter, whilst the Warriors couldn't hit anything from three-point range, Steve Kerr decided to insert Moses Moody, who hit not one, but 2 massive threes to give the Dubs some momentum, including this one off movement, which is just a glimpse of what he can hopefully provide more of, because the athleticism boost that Moody and Kuminga provided against this Kings team wasn't needed just because of Dre and GP2 missing, but it was needed full stop, and the Warriors are going to need more of that going forward. Anyways, I still expect the Warriors to come out and tie the series up in Game 4 before going back to Sacramento, and from that point onwards, it's anyone's ballgame.